Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Yes, we are stuck on the prayer of Psalms 35. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of shield and buckler and stand up for mine help. Draw out also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them. For without cause they have hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unaware, and let his net that he had hid caught himself. Into that very destruction let him fall. And my soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. All my bones shall say, Lord, who is like unto thee, which delivereth the poor from him that is too strong for him? Yea, the poor and the needy from him that spoileth him. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things I knew not. They reward me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bow down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. But in my adversary they rejoice and gather themselves together. Yea, the abject gather themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me down and ceased not. With hypocritical mockers in feasts, they gnashed upon me with their teeth. Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction, my darling from the lions. I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people. Let not them that are mine enemy wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against me against them rather that are quiet in the land. Yea, they opened their mouth wide against me and said, Aha, aha, our eyes had seen it. This thou hast seen, O Lord. Keep not silence, O Lord. Be not far from me. Stir up thyself and awake to my judgment, even unto my cause, my God and my Lord. Judge me, O Lord, my God, according to thy righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. Let them not say in their heart, Ah, so would we have it. Let them not say, We have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at my hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteous cause. Yea, let them say continually, Let the Lord be magnified, which had pleasure in the prosperity of his servants. And my tongue shall speak of thy righteousness and of thy praise all the day long. To my community of Parity and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome. The ruckus of Parliament yesterday, it's all going pear-shaped. We're going to review that we're going to see today in Morris Dixon and Horace Chang this morning as well. A question I want to ask though, has Isaac Buchanan been watered down, or is he now becoming a pacifist? Or is it that he's the sensible, calm, and collected one? That we will assess this morning. But 10 years and running after the Andrew Holness government, it doesn't look good for parliamentary democracy, nor does it look good for the country after 10 years.
10 years, you say? 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food pan we plate. People are suffer while Andrew live great. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through and left the people bare. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. Their JLP friends them build high rise, road still full of hope. House pocket to a fill, while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get better. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest actor in our politics we ever see. Wholeness, time to go, time to go. The people, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Wholeness, time to go, time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Wholeness, time to go. Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born you, we grow you, we bleed for this land. But Andrew at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report land and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. Who's crack up parish council, bro? Country suffocate, done and it just smoke. And when we raise the voice, you call we political. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is biblical. Police, time to go. Time to go. The people, yes and no. We say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Police, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Police, our time to go. We know our no hype, we know our no speech. We want action, no, not the lies you preach. Hurricane victims still under tarpaulin. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people COVID empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fists, not with fire, but with voice them rising higher and higher. From every parish, every yard, every gate, Jamaica speaking, and I'm not too late. Time to go, the people. We say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Always our time to go. This one is for every Jamaican. What can't afford feet? We are sleep on cardboard. We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget. The people don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live.
Enough is enough. In context to yesterday's stand-up, our voices on every street corner, every gate, every veranda, every dinner table, every parish, and every city capital ought to be raised higher and higher until this government breaks. Civil disobedience, when the rule no longer works or when the rules aren't fair and impartial, then civil disobedience is the next thing that we go to. I want you to take out your pens and papers because I'm going to give you two historical pieces of information that you ought to read for yourself when you have the time. So by the time I don't do my good mornings and my thank yous, you all should have your pen and paper out for me to give you two historical pieces of information that you ought to have yourself clued up on. Because history does at time, or a lot of the time, repeat itself. And you would want to understand history. So when it's repeating itself, you will be able to say, aha, that comes from somewhere. It's not just out of the blues. Anyway, the thank yous. I want to thank all of you, but in particular those of you who supported my call last night for the important issue I have to deal with. Violet Watson, Michael Nepper, Sharon Powell, Opal Watson, and later on, after I came off live, I saw Gloria Morris's contribution as well. I want to say thank you to all of you who have donated generously last night. It is very, very much appreciated. Gloria Morris, good morning and welcome. Debbie Jarvis TV, good morning. Miss Jim Uptown, Errol Reed, Elaine Turner, good morning. Jamrack 8766, yes. Joyce Robinson, Nicole. Let me leave the last name if it's going to tie my tongue up. Good morning, Miranda Ruddock. Good morning and welcome. Empress Deb. Good morning, Michelle Clark. Leonie Denton. Good morning. Violet Watson. Good morning and welcome. Karen Nemad, good morning. Good morning. Marcia Thomas, Sheena Kelly, Elga Fletcher, good morning. Opal Watson, good morning. Good morning. Barbara Simpson, Pamela Akola, good morning. Good morning, all. Good morning, Michael Nepper, good morning. Wayne Williams, Wayne Evans, good morning. Good morning. Sharon Powell, good morning. Good morning. Who else is there here? To those who are listening silently, good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now to the two historical pieces of information. The first is the 1696 window tax. Window tax, yes. A tax on having window cotton bonds that let sunlight and air into your house. King William III, you know, the kings of England are some very wicked and devious people, like King Charles, King James, various different kings. They're all wicked. Run one list. How are you? The window tax of 1696, a piece of legislation that operated in Britain, a piece of law that operated in Britain for 156 years, was repealed in 1851. That piece of law killed a lot of people in Britain because when the window tax was imposed, what people did, the rich and powerful who owned properties and renting them to the peasants, blocked up all the windows, so there was lack of air and sunlight going into people's dwellings. Hence, a lot of disease such as tuberculosis and other outbreaks, which doctor dubbed as a tax on light on and air. So you may want to research the window tax. Just ask Google about the window tax of 1696. All right? The window tax of 1696. You may want to do further research into that via Google. The next piece of information I would like you to research and read as well is a book or a poem or an essay rather called The Irritated Genie. This book was written by Dr. Jacob Carruthers. It was written based on the Haitian Revolution in context to a speech made by Jean-Jacques Dessalines, one of the authors of the Haitian Revolution. You may want to look up those historical information. Those are just by the sideway things I think you should know, and you should let your children know as well if they are not aware. But, there was lot and lot of nonsense in Parliament yesterday evening. I have done an article, did I not put it in studio? On the ruckus in Parliament yesterday. What was the title again? Rules, Convention, and Discretion in Parliamentary Proceedings. It ought to be in studio, why not? Rules, Convention, and Discretion in Parliamentary Proceedings. Juliet Holness has become the Donald Trump of our Parliament, and I'll tell you how and why. Donald Trump is not one that sticks to the norm. He have his own way of doing things. It is precisely how Juliet Holness is operating in our Parliament. The total disregard for what are conventional norms, convention or unwritten rules, unlike what we hear regularly being referred to as the standing orders, which are the written rules. But in the Westminster style democracy, or democracies rather, across the world, taking their learning from the Westminster style system, it's not only the written rules that we observe, we also observe what are convention. What are convention? Convention are unwritten rules, the norms which are not on paper, but we use them and follow them over a period of time. Thus, they become rules to be respected as well as those on paper. We see with Donald Trump from his first to his second coming, where Donald Trump has torn up a lot of what are conventions, the normal practices that we adhere to, even though they're not written on paper anywhere. Barbara Simpson, how you do? Lynette Jenkins, morning. And that is the stance Juliet Holness takes. It is the major part of the problem within our Parliament, despite her conflict of interest, political biases, and all that. But the disregard for conventions, the norms that other speakers of the House adhere to, which Juliet Holness have thrown out the window, has becoming a pressing problem. Let's go to the article. Then we go straight to Parliament because there's a lot in Parliament that went down yesterday. Civil disobedience and other. But there was what I think was an attack on Nikita Burchell by Maricia Dalrymple Filbert, the rolling potato thief tongue of Maricia Dalrymple Filbert. And in that is why I asked the question, is Isaac Buchanan watered down, or has he become a pacifist? Or is it that Isaac Buchanan is the only sensible one in town? Let's go to our article. Then we go to the rough and tumble of yesterday's proceedings in Parliament.
Rules, convention, and discretion in parliamentary proceedings, a delicate balance or a system ripe for abuse. Parliament is often described as the heartbeat of democratic governance, yet its day-to-day functioning depends not on a single, rigid legal code, but on a complex, evolving interplay of formal rules, unwritten conventions, and discretionary judgment. On the surface, this tripartite structure is presented as a strength. It provides enough order to prevent chaos, enough tradition to ensure continuity, and enough flexibility to respond to unforeseen events. However, a closer critical examination reveals deep tensions within this system, tensions that raise serious questions about accountability, fairness, and whether the balance between these three elements is steadily tipping in favor of executive power and arbitrary authority. Formal rules, structure or straitjacket. At its foundation, parliamentary procedure is governed by written rules, standing orders, statutes, resolutions, and official precedents. These are designed to regulate every stage of business: the tabling of bills, the conduct of debates, the asking of questions, the timing of votes, and the discipline of members. In theory, they ensure equality of opportunity, protect minority voices, and guarantee that decisions are reached through clear, predictable processes. Yet critics argue that formal rules are increasingly being manipulated rather than respected. Governments with comfortable majorities can amend standing orders to limit debate, curtail opposition amendments, or rush legislation through without proper scrutiny. Clauses such as guillotine motions or program orders, originally intended to manage time efficiently, are now frequently used to stifle detailed examination of controversial bills. In this sense, rules can become instruments of control, providing a veneer of legality while undermining the very purpose of parliamentary oversight. Furthermore, rules are often dense, technical, and difficult for the public to understand, creating a barrier between the institution and the citizens it serves. Conventions. Tradition as a double-edged sword. Operating alongside written rules is a vast body of unwritten conventions, customs, precedents, and accepted practices that have developed over centuries. These include principles such as ministerial responsibility, the obligation of the Speaker to remain impartial, the tradition of the Queen's speech, and the understanding that certain matters are debated in specific ways. Conventions fill gaps where rules are silent, and they give Parliament its distinctive character, fostering a sense of continuity and respect that formal texts alone cannot create. But herein lies the problem. Conventions are not legally enforceable. They rely entirely on political goodwill and collective memory. When that goodwill erodes, conventions can be ignored, reinterpreted, or discarded with little recourse. In recent years, observers have noted a gradual erosion of key conventions, from the avoidance of overly partisan language in debates to the expectation that ministers will resign when they are found to have misled the House. Because there is no court or authority that can definitively rule on whether a convention has been breached, the line between accepted practice and unacceptable behavior becomes blurred. This ambiguity can favor those in power who may exploit the lack of enforceability to advance their agenda without fear of formal sanction. Discretion, flexibility, or arbitrary power. The third pillar of parliamentary proceedings is discretion, most notably exercised by the Speaker of the House, presiding officers, and sometimes party business managers. Discretion allows for the interpretation of rules and conventions in light of specific circumstances, enabling the House to adapt to unexpected developments, resolve procedural disputes, and ensure that debate remains fair and constructive. A speaker with sound judgment can protect the rights of backbenchers, ensure minority voices are heard, and maintain order even in highly charged situations. However, discretion carries inherent risks. Because it involves subjective judgment, it is vulnerable to accusations of bias. Critics point to instances where rulings on amendments, points of order, or the selection of speakers appear to favor the government or the opposition, depending on the presiding officer's political leanings. When discretion is exercised without clear, published guidelines or consistent reasoning, it can undermine public confidence in the neutrality of the chair. There is also a risk that repeated use of discretionary power can effectively create new precedents that alter the meaning of existing rules and conventions, effectively rewriting procedure without formal debate or approval. The interplay, a fragile equilibrium. The true complexity of parliamentary procedure lies in how these three elements interact. Rules provide the framework, conventions provide the spirit, and discretion provide the means to apply them. But this balance is constantly shifting. When rules are too rigid, business becomes slow and inflexible. When conventions are too weak, tradition loses its restraining force. When discretion is unchecked, fairness gives way to arbitrariness. In practice, the system often favors those who understand it best, usually experienced frontbenchers and party whips, while leaving newer members and smaller parties at a disadvantage. There is growing concern that the combination of strict but manipulable rules, declining respect for conventions, and wide discretionary powers has created a system that is less about deliberation and more about management of outcomes. Rather than acting as a check on executive power, Parliament risks becoming a stage where decisions are predetermined and debate is carefully choreographed. Conclusion: reform or stagnation. The debate over rules, conventions, and discretion is not merely a technical one, it goes to the heart of what Parliament represents. If the system is to remain credible, there must be greater transparency in how rules are changed, clearer documentation of conventions to prevent their erosion, and more consistent accountability for how discretionary judgments are made. Without such safeguards, the delicate balance risks collapsing into a system where form prevails over substance, and where the appearance of democracy masks a reality of controlled debate and limited accountability. For citizens, the challenge is not just to observe parliamentary proceedings, but to understand how these three forces shape every decision, and to demand a system where power is truly exercised openly, fairly, and responsibly. Would you like me to also prepare a shorter summary version?
Right. So you've heard it. I think it's now time for us to move to Parliament. And
what is going on? Why are you trying to tell us that we are to respect?
Of yesterday, bear with. I need to draw back to where there's a lot that went
Kayak compares flight prices from
yesterday.
hundreds of sites. All you need to
How
do is decide where you want to go.
much of it
So, Beth,
we can
scuba in
go into
Bermuda?
this morning,
I can't swim.
I don't
Jungle
know.
jaunt?
But
Yes.
I want to
Somewhere
go to the
snowy?
bit that leads up to the
Beach break?
attack
Once you
on
compare, you're almost
Nikita
there.
Bertel by the potato thief.
Craving a late night snack but
Mary
terrified of
said
gaining
I
weight?
was
You have to
fulfilled,
try
but
this
bear with me
non-fried
and
crispy
leave
dried
at-
fish. Savory, crunchy, and way more addictive than potato chips or spicy corn chips. Low in fat and...
Come on, you.
What is going on?
Right, we need
Why?
to come back. We're going to start with
What
Philip.
manifested today, led by the
Let's go back to... No, I want to go to Philip.
Motion was to refer for the
No, I don't want Fifi right now. Go to
and
Paul.
more importantly, to proceed with a greater degree of certainty in enabling all of us who are here as representatives to feel that we are indeed able representatives who are recognized for the role that we are elected to play. Earlier, Madam Speaker, I had tried to ask a question, and I think these are some of the issues that will have to be resolved going forward, because for the 29 years I'm here, there has never been an issue about any item on the order that could not elicit a question and a response. And the response is normally not from the speaker, but from the leader of government business, as the case might be. And Madam Speaker, I believe as we address these standing orders, we need to be absolutely clear about when a member can address the Parliament, at what time can a member seek an explanation or a clarification, and there is nothing wrong as we go forward in any item, any of the items, for a member to rise and to ask for an explanation. And the simple explanation I was asking for today when I got up on the announcement was what has become of the report from the annual report of the Integrity Commission, which is, we would have anticipated them having advised us yesterday that it was sent to the Parliament. It was reasonable for us to expect that we'd have seen it listed under the announced items. And that was a simple question I was seeking to have addressed. And I see no reason why it could not have been allowed. I could not have been allowed. And there are certain courtesies that we extend in the House. Courtesies for the Prime Minister, the leader of the opposition, leader of government business, and the leader of opposition business. And I can't imagine that I could not, at this stage earlier today, be allowed just to say why I got up. And it's not that we're not weaponizing anything. I think it's reasonable for us. It is reasonable for us to anticipate that the report would have been tabled. So I look forward to the work of the Standing Orders Committee. I look forward to debating the draft that was presented to us at the last meeting. We still need to get permission to have it circulated so that all the members can be fully apprised as to the proposals that are coming forward. And I intend, as other members of the committee, to be active participants as we try to enable our standing orders that we can all live with and that will enhance our democracy. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
No, I think Nestor Morgan now is going to be given the chance to have his way. Unlike
so some of the erroneous comments made by you a while ago, leader of opposition business. I'm going to ask House Leader to respond because he was also in Standing Orders Committee, particularly because I chair that committee, number one. Number two, the leader or the deputy would also like to make a comment.
Madam Speaker, I was listening to...
This AI tool will take your idea and create a complete
It's a full-on bullying
images,
that
layout,
our parliament has become under
the leader of
Juliet Holness.
Opposition business. And I too am looking
Look
forward
with the hookworm.
Changes to the standing orders. Because what manifested today, led by the leader of opposition business, was a demonstration of why the standing orders need to be strengthened to ensure that your role as Speaker of the House is not compromised. The leader of opposition business stood in a...
It has already been compromised. The fact that Andrew Holness, Nestor Morgan, could have given his wife a seat after becoming leader of the Jamaica Labour Party. That's where the compromise starts. It went further though, Nestor Morgan. When he gave her the control over the country's legislature, that's where it all went wrong.
A period that did not allow him to stand and ask questions in the period. The Speaker asked the leader of opposition business to come towards her chair so she could ask what it is that you wish to speak about. He refused. His colleagues then proceeded to disrupt the functioning of the House with a chorus of desk beating. And I think the public should know what happened. So while the leader of opposition business can stand and proclaim himself righteous in his actions, the realities of what he did today do not manifest righteousness. Madam Speaker, more than you. Madam Speaker, you ruled many months ago as to how reports are going to be handled in the House. The leader of opposition business know about the ruling because this ruling was repeated on several occasions. But yet he stood here and put on record questions about the non-tabling of the report that he knows will not be tabled today. So this trend, there's this trend, Madam Speaker, where they get up and they pretend like they don't know. They misread the standing orders for the public record. They lower the House in the eyes of the public, which is why I'm standing here, Madam Speaker, supporting the reform of the standing orders. Because the simple rule that the Speaker must be heard in silence has never been accepted and agreed to by the opposition. When the Speaker is speaking, the opposition is trying to cow down the Speaker. And then, member from St. Mary, they come and stand up and claim that they are being abused and disrespected and not being heard, when they are the abusers. And
a classical case of gaslighting. I mean, pass me the match, Nestor Morgan. This is how gaslighting works.
Last thing I want to say on this matter, Madam Speaker, you have been, there is clearly a concerted and planned attempt to, one, compromise the government agenda in the House through disruption. I think there is a concerted and planned attempt to make you look like the villain at every sitting.
She is.
Where when you issue a ruling, within 5 minutes of your ruling, there's a video out on social media criticizing your ruling, telling lies. I want, Madam Speaker, this standing order review to contemplate. He doesn't understand how the standing orders work or how debates work, you know. He believes that he can talk and nobody responds. Madam Speaker, I want the standing order review to contemplate the actions that the opposition has been doing over the past several months that is disrespecting you and your office.
She has no respect for herself.
The undermining of the parliament by them is not an undermining of us as individuals, it's an undermining of our democracy. And I am going to suggest to you, Madam.
It is Juliet Holness that is undermining the democratic norms. That is where the problem is coming from. The roast cow, the potato thief as she is, was never like the Prime Minister's concubine or the Prime Minister's Jezebel.
Speaker, when you're up there and they're over there saying things off the mic, find a way to turn on the mic so the public can hear everything that they're saying, sotto voce, so the public can know that you're not the person who is cantankerous and bothersome. Because some of the comments that they are making off mic, if their family and friends should hear the type of language and comments they are using in the house, they would be ashamed. So, Madam Speaker, I welcome the modifications to the standing orders. And I hope that it will ensure that going forward, we have a more orderly house, a house that is more respectful.
Globalists may know it upsetting, but it upset me as well because I don't like Nesta Morgan or Pernell Charles. I even would prefer deal with Andrew Holness than deal with Pernell Charles Jr. and Nesta Morgan. But we have to listen. We have to hear.
And a house that facilitates dialogue and the proper functioning of the Parliament. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Nasty Morgan. Who will be up next? I think it's Mark Golden.
So this device is both a DVD player and a CD burner,
Parliament
which already makes it super useful. You can watch your old...
a disgraceful clown show. It has become a disgraceful clown show.
Opposition leader, turn on your mic, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. This debate has been used to rehash in a very partisan way some of what happened earlier. What I would say is this. Over the many years, I've been in Parliament for about 20 years.
Opposition leader and leader of government business, I just have a moment because...
What we're doing here, we're debating the motion and the standing orders.
Continue, opposition leader.
Yes. So what I was saying, Madam Speaker, is that this debate has been used to cast and recast the narrative of what took place earlier in a particularly jaundiced and very unfair way. The custom, I've been in the Parliament for 20 years, come September. 10 years in the Senate, 10 years in the House. When the leader of government business or the leader of the opposition business seek to speak on an issue, they're allowed to speak. At least they're allowed to be heard. At least they're allowed to be heard as to what the issue is they want to raise. They don't have to come and ask you behind the speaker's chair what it is to clear it in advance. Anything procedurally that they wish to raise, they're allowed to raise on any item in on the agenda. So the failure to allow the leader of opposition business to speak on the point he wanted to raise, which was to question why the Integrity Commission's annual report hasn't been tabled today, that was most improper in our view. And that is what elicited the behavior that you saw in protest to the way in which he was being muzzled by not being allowed to ask his question.
But you're justifying the bad behavior, aren't you?
And we would like those conventions to be restored. because the House will run much better if due respect is paid to the leader of the opposition business and leader of government business as they play their respective roles. And what you did, and to the Speaker, what you did was you allowed the leader of government business to speak extensively on the matter as he saw it, and you didn't even allow the leader of opposition business to respond to what the leader of government business had to say. That is not in keeping with the traditions of this House. That was most improper as well. And as for the member from North Central, I think it is Clarendon, indicating that we're aware of some rule. All I'm aware of is that the Integrity Commission Act says that annual reports are to be tabled in Parliament. And as soon as they should, as soon as they can.
It says as soon as possible. And you're incorrect, leader of the opposition.
Why can't it be
You're
tabled?
incorrect.
The Integrity Commission published its cover letter as it is practice.
You are incorrect.
So that the public knows.
Turn it off, Angela.
Yeah, it's true. So
I didn't press it, leader of opposition.
Juliet Holness, Mark Golding, two hand was up in the air. Who would have turned Mark Golding mics off? Juliet Holness. We were seeing his two hands in front of him, in front of us. Who would have turned Mark Golding mics off?
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Madam Speaker. I'm very happy to hear that. I don't know who did, because I certainly didn't. Madam Speaker, the Integrity Commission Act requires their reports to be tabled. And you yourself issued a ruling, as you call it, some time ago, a couple of years ago, I think towards the end of 2023, if my memory serves me correctly, that they would be tabled as quickly as reasonably possible. The annual report came here. The cover letter was published, as is their practice, so that everybody knows that something has come. And we were expecting to see it tabled today, and it wasn't. And the leader of opposition business wanted to ask why, in announcements, it wasn't tabled in light of that fact. He was not allowed even to ask the question. And we object most strongly to the way in which the proceedings of this House are being conducted, because they've been conducted in what appears to be a very partisan way, a manipulative way when it comes to sensitive political issues. And the democracy, this is a democracy that thrives on open discussion, transparency, and debate. And here we have a minister, through his loud protestations, attempting to disrupt what I have to say. Yes, and I'd ask that you please desist and let me speak. If you want to speak on the matter, you can do so. Yes, thank you. So the point at the end of the day is this. In our view, these reports must be tabled as soon as possible after they come here. There's a strong public interest in that, because there's a strong public interest in the work of the Integrity Commission being facilitated to reduce corruption and other wrongs against the good governance of the country being perpetrated. And we on this side are going to always be assiduous about that. And when we attempt to do so and we're shut down, it's not a good look. It appears to be an attempt to use up the Parliament in a way which is inimical to the interests of good governance and democracy. So, Madam Speaker, at the end of the day, I think we hashed this matter. If others want to speak, of course, it's their right. But that's the point. Those are the points that I wish to make this afternoon.
Thank you, Leader of the Opposition.
You're one sentence away from launching your website with Base 44. Since the beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and intelligent way to launch online. Landing pages, content.
As you indicate, deference is given very often to the leader of opposition, leader of government business, leader of opposition business, and the respect is accorded to them, including Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, the ministers. As a matter of fact, respect is afforded to every member of the House except the Speaker. Now,
Globalist, good morning. To those of you who have not yet hit the like button, can you support the program by hitting the like button, please? You can share the live to your Facebook page. You can share it in your WhatsApp group. You can share it to your family members and friends. You see.
No, that's how you behave. So when the Speaker makes a ruling, when the Speaker asks you to sit, you don't. And the Speaker must be heard in silent, Member Burchell. No, not everybody. The Speaker, read your standing orders. No, this debate is on the standing orders.
This is the point where I have to ask this question. Who Andrew there within a parliament? Is it Rhoda or is it Nikita Burchell? I wonder if something are gone. I wonder if Andrew look upon Nikita Burchell when nobody else now look when Joletta see. Why there's this person? Is it because you were called a yamhead? Is it because you are being told that you're a wife and a school mistress? That was an analogy though. Yamhead was a question. Can we have yamhead, please? Or can we get yamhead? It was a question. The wife and headmistress was an analogy. Is it something, Miss Wholeness? Is there something that we are not privy to? Why don't attack Nikisha Burchell? So what is it? I'd be interested to know, because that would help us, the viewing public, to understand where the feeling I come from. So we just want to know, is it Rhoda or Nikisha?
No, leader of opposition, the comment I, leader of opposition, Member Burchell, huh? The member from St. James.
This is really becoming matey-ish and personal.
The member from St. James South. Yes, please be.
Don't you think this is becoming matey-ish and personal? Lady, that issue ought to be had with Rhoda, with Marlene Fort, or with Audrey Marks, possible Dana Morris Dixon. Why Nikisha Burchell? Of all the people we hear say take Andrew up in your face, her name wasn't one of them. If you remember what Audrey Marks said in her first public political speech, oh, Marlene, they say it's you. And Marlene say, oh, they say it's you too.
Quiet. Members, what I am attempting to say, if I'm allowed, is that this motion is a debate on the standing orders. The leader of opposition was allowed some deference. He went into other matters extensively. I am asking the remaining members to stick to the discussion being on the report being referred, which is to allow all the work done from the previous dispensation by myself and the committee that I chair, the Standing Orders Committee, that I have been asking the House to review and to update for better order and management of the House be the basis of the debate and the discussion. Next
Juliet
member,
Holness.
as it relates.
Juliet Holness. The standing order is not the issue. The standing order, Juliet Holness, or Juliet Holness, existed before Juliet Holness. The standing order will exist after Juliet Holness. In the existence, Juliet Holness, of the standing order, there were many before you, which had never, Juliet Holness, have this problem of headmistress and demanding wife that you are having. These standing orders, Juliet Holness, is not the issue. The issue lies in Juliet Holness's temperament. Juliet Holness biases. Juliet Holness partisanism. Juliet Holness conflict of interest. Juliet Holness controlling and manipulative Jezebelish behavior. That Juliet Holness is where the actual problem lies, you see.
Relates to the standing orders, discussion and debate, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Permission to speak from a seat other than my own.
Member from St. Andrew South.
Southwest.
Southwest. Proceed.
Thank you.
Angela, in a different.
Hey, I'm Bob. Okay, that never gets old. Let me show you how we created this entire video in just a few clicks using TuneB.
Member from St. James South, please turn off your mic. Member from Trelawney, yes, thank you. Anybody else who has your mic on? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I am very pleased to be able to have an input in the discussion on the motion that's before us in terms of the referral of the standing orders review. I do believe that it is timely, as others have said. In fact, I believe that there are a number of conventions that we have been seeing over the years that we almost have taken for granted. And I believe...
This is another hypocrite when I worth listening to as well. But if we listen to Nesta Morgan, might as well we listen to this one too.
Although the speaker...
You can tell she and Juliet are friends.
...has discretion when the speaker seeks to throw out the conventions without any other conversation or discussion with the leader of opposition business or others, that it can be problematic in terms of how we relate within the parliament. And so it is important when we go to do the review for us to agree on what conventions are then made into standing orders or which ones we will throw out, so we are all operating on the same page. I believe that a big part of the issue that we have in making sure we stick to the standing orders has to do with a perception of bias, and therefore, and also, quite frankly, a lack of trust. And I believe that the discussion in the Standing Orders Review Committee could provide an opportunity for us to explore the various positions on the issues and have a better understanding of where members stand, so that that lack of trust that obviously exists can be put in the background while we focus on what the new standing orders would say. Every time I hear the speaker speak about the review for the Standing Orders Committee, I hear a reference to the work that has been done by the committee, by yourself and the committee, which is important, yes. I always want to make sure we add to that it is an opportunity for us to really review, which means that if individuals would want to make changes to what is there, that they are free to place it on the table. I do know I've said this before, and I do know you have agreed that that is so. But because every time it is mentioned, that part is left out, I am duty bound to place it on record to make sure that that is clear. Madam Speaker, in the debate, it is extremely unfortunate that in this current debate, the member could stand and attribute to the comments that have been made on this side that there is willful disrespect. Disrespect can be discerned or felt, but I do not believe that there is anyone in this house that has the ability to come into our heads to determine whether or not it's willful disrespect. And so I am clear that, and which is what I also do, if there is an interchange and an exchange that seems disrespectful, I believe it is fitting for that to be drawn to the attention of whomever to say that this is received as disrespect. And that I have no problem with. I understand that. And I believe that the more we have the courage to do that and to stand on the same respect that we demand, the more it is that we will be able to get rid of anything that might seem like disrespect. Respect does not only go to the chair. It should come from the chair to every member that is sitting. Like the speaker, I have also felt coming from her actions and words that I find disrespectful. I am going to take, Madam Speaker, the same advice that I am giving today, which is that when that is felt, I will respectfully say that that is how it is received. So that if there is clarity to be made, it can be made so that we can move on in a different atmosphere.
Have you ever seen a magical product that transforms any ordinary space into a romantic universe in seconds? This is the ultimate starlight projection mood lamp that's currently taking the market by storm. With over
I believe it is important what we're doing with the standing orders and that we're all on the same page so that Jamaicans looking on us as we are having the discussion can understand what is happening. I believe that the mic system that has been introduced is one of the worst things that could have been introduced, because I believe that because persons are not heard unless the speaker so approves, what it means is that when comments are made, they are often either not properly heard, misinterpreted, and in fact, the Madam Speaker says that she has good hearing, but I don't want to depend on Madam Speaker's hearing. I want to make sure that whether it is PBCJ, whether it is Hansard, I want to make sure that others are able to capture what is being said by all, because I believe that also helps to take out of the discussion, yes, the animosity that is developing, or I should probably properly say has developed. So I just want to say that. I also want to make sure that as we go through the standing orders, we make a distinction between disagreement that is strongly and forcefully made and disrespect, because those are two totally different concepts. Yeah, they are two totally different concepts. And at times it seems as if persons want all of us to be singing from the same Sankey. On this side, we don't.
Lady, hurry up and go on.
And so it's hard to get us to sing from the same Sankey, right? We are thinking beings, and we use that gray matter that has been given to us. Madam Speaker, I am hoping that in the review of the standing orders, the matter of seeking protection from the Speaker is something that will be clear. There are times when you hear that you have to ask the Speaker for protection, but there are other times when the Speaker jumps and protects. And often it is the same behavior from the Speaker towards both sides, meaning it is always to protect on that side and to require us to seek your protection. And so I'm hoping that it is one of the issues that will be addressed in the standing orders review, so
Lady,
that
hurry
we
up
are
now.
clear on how that is to operate,
Sure.
and that the Speaker will be
just like them over there,
consistent in applying the standing orders as well.
Yeah, man, go on. Go on, if that gone a long time. The open useless knife. The monkey story got on in. Lady, go on.
Could you please turn off your mics, all of you?
Mommy Mike. Mommy Mike.
I will now ask
Mommy Mike,
the member from Trelawney South.
Giro no still football. Mary said that the roast cow. Whole roast cow. Rather potato thief. Rather fertilizer thief. Mary said that Wimpy Filbert with thief with money by Cargill sister is going to roll her tongue. Lady Treasure Cat, Lady District Puss, Lady City Puss is going to roll her tongue across the board.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The member from St. Andrew West, please turn off your mic. Thank you.
I rise this evening as a former Speaker of this House, and I had discussions with my senior minister, who is also a former Speaker of this House. And I have heard all the comments, and I have seen everything. And I really think we have reached a time in this Parliament where we must be absolutely honest with ourselves.
Me not tell no lie still Marissa that Wimpy Filbert. For somebody who grow in a care home, if you pick me with somebody find pan road, you really reach far. Me not tell no lie.
And there are members on that side of the House that I have a lot of regard for. They oppose certain things, and they do it in a manner that is how the parliaments of this country have always operated. And one of the overriding things that I know as a speaker, please, one of the overriding...
The right reference, darling, it would be as a former speaker. Not as a speaker, as a former speaker.
Principles is that the speaker's ruling must...
Wait, how old is the new hire?
I don't know, but he literally uses Excel.
Bear with because
you must be the new analyst.
People are just mad posters.
Always be respected. Always. No speaker is perfect. You might not.
You see, you never know when mother post in the 80s when it named Miss Stib. You would have Karen, you know, there. Whoa! Karen and Roger Faith would have to come verify. You never know when mother post that mama had in the 80s called Miss Stib, because mama did have a puss and a dog. The dog did name Pankas. Pankas was a Bringle dog. And then Miss Puss was also, Miss Stib was also one of the Bringle cats as well. You never know Mama Puss when they name Miss Stib. If you know Mama Puss when they name Miss Stib, Ono that say, look pan Dalrymple and say, Miss Tib, come back alive again. Yeah? And then, no, sir.
Always get it right, but the Speaker's ruling is always to be respected. And in all the years that I've been here, when I sat as the Speaker, I had a lot of disagreements with me. But never has this Parliament on either...
Mama Puss did name Miss Tib. Not just Tib. Miss Tib. You have to put Anna upon Mama Puss name. Miss Tib. Yeah? And Miss Tib. When you look upon Dalrymple and when you look upon Mama Puss, you wouldn't be able to know the difference of the two of them. Roscoe, City Puss, Treasure Cat.
...side ever gone into what I have seen, and I make bold to say that this is a new breed of parliamentarians, because never before.
Remember, say you have a new breed of gunman. Remember, say you have a new breed of gunman. Remember when you buy election. Remember when you buy election, Miss Tib, and your own people, them did come out and talk, say, when Mama D and him bad man, them say, so go, Miss Tib. So talk about your new breed of gunman, them, rather than the new breed of politician, but Dr. Dawes soon answer you.
Have we had this type of behavior? I have been the Speaker. I have been opposed. We have had differences, but nobody has behaved in the way members of this new Parliament has behaved to any Speaker. And I'm going to say very frankly, it brings back to my mind the comment that was made originally before the Speaker was chosen. A member of the People's National Party had put out a notice. They did not want the present Speaker or myself to be the Speaker. I'm not the Speaker, but the Speaker is the Speaker that has been chosen. She is the Speaker. She is the Prime Minister's wife. Hold on.
Exactly the fucking point, you dull old piece of murderous criminal. You thief. You criminal. You gun runner. That is exactly the problem. What on earth is the Prime Minister's wife doing in our Parliament anyway? Have you ever heard of that in any democracy? The only place where I knew of it to happen was in Zimbabwe, when Zimbabwe was said not to be a democracy. And even Mugabe's compatriots didn't agree to it, because when they thought he was going to hand over power to Grace Mugabe in his weaker days, that's how they put him on house arrest and take him from power. So if it is a country dubbed as a dictatorship, did not accept it or agree to it, this is the problem. You idiot, you criminal. You have identified the problem. But because you're not criminal, you see, you can't see the crime you're involved in. That is one problem. Watch pan this one. Watch pan the sad wife. Watch pan the wife when I get no sleep with. Watch pan the lonely wife at home. Draw your gun. Draw your gun at me like how you draw your gun at Andrew Holness, but Andrew Holness has to run behind helper while you sail cup, plate, and saucer and frying pan all over the house. Make everybody a walk and duck. Draw your gun, Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness, draw your gun. And you think this is Andrew? You bunch of disgraceful squalors. You murderers and thieves. Have you got anything to say to Tam Tavares' grandson? Though Tam Tavares helped you to arrange the murder of the father of his grandson to your criminally aligned police officers. Coming out of Parliament pulling sad face. Go to your fucking house, you Jezebel. If it is that you have a sad face, wait until the Prime Minister gets home. Not in our Parliament, you Jezebel.
And I congratulate your member who spoke this evening. She spoke about behavior and the way we treat our women. I want to say it is not a good look for us to treat a female who is a speaker. And I'm going to go further. I'm going to make very bold because many people have said things and many people have gone wrong. Many people have gone right. But you know, the older members of Parliament, I look and I see the present leader of opposition business, who was also the leader of opposition business when I was a speaker. And you just watch his profile. Never before have we had the type of behavior. And I'm calling it as I see it. The member, hold on, the member on that side from South St. James, I am saying particularly to her, I have never seen anybody behave to any speaker the way she has done. And hold on.
What would be helpful for us, Miss Stibb, as Ladybug said, look like a horse and a cool shady? It would be good to itemize the disrespects that you are talking, because we don't know what the hell you're talking about. We don't know if for the potato with your teeth and rather. We don't know if for the whole cow where you roast and buy back yourself into Parliament. We don't know if for the whole heap of gunman where you use and control South Chilani people. Please to itemize. What is it? We do not talk. Don't broad brush we. Now come out here with the broad brush. Please to itemize the disrespects that you're talking about. Because if it's the yam head, Juliet Holness is really a yam head. If it's the analogy of wife and headmistress, then are your eyes not open, you crook?
I want to say that the member, I'm not to call names, that spoke just before me. No, I'm not calling your name, but I'm saying to you, although you have had difficulties, and although you have said things, and although I have never heard you behave the way that the member from South St. James as a female has brought into this Parliament. I'm calling her out because she's young, she's new, she's female, and we have a female speaker. And if you do anything with the revision, it doesn't matter what you do about the standing orders. The standing orders, if you revise it 1,000,000 times over, the speaker's ruling must always be respected. And that is why...
all when it's impartial, all when it's biased, all when there's a conflict of interest, Roscoe, potato thief. I wonder if it's stuff the potato them in the Roscoe, the potato them went thief and rather. I wonder if it's stuff them in the Roscoe. Dalwimple from the care home, Mama Puss, Treasure Cat, City Puss, gunman material, move and go sit down. I'm not a fan of Nikita Bertel, but if you don't come out here for her, I will come back for honor.
Member who spoke before me came into this Parliament and made an apology for certain incidents. You have never done it, and your behavior has brought a new high to this thing. I am speaking on my feet, and I'm saying to you now that maybe
this professional 32 TW SSD, capable of holding the entire collection of the New York Public Library,
when they want quarreling, when they want to face there, that's the only time these
many
criminals
people will
have
not say it openly. I stand this afternoon because I feel strongly about it. And I feel that the speaker in her position as the Prime Minister's wife and as a female, yes, I say it as it is because
that is the problem. what the Prime Minister wife are doing with Parliament. The Prime Minister should have come home to a wife when not tired. A wife we can rub his shoulder when he come home. A wife we can rub his foot when he come home. A wife we can sit round the dinner table with him when he come home. That's the wife a Prime Minister should have. Prime Minister wife not come home tired like Prime Minister. Prime Minister wife not come home and fret and worry. Say, oh, the Prime Minister, they owe me reach home and he not reach home yet. And that's the problem. Oh, the Prime Minister wife get in with Parliament. Oh, the Prime Minister wife get in with country's business. That's where the problem is, and that enough to recognize. That's what we want enough to recognize, where the problem start. The problem start with Andrew Holness giving his wife a seat, whether the wife draw a gun on him, bully him into it, because we know say I know out of love. Just like what Donald Trump do to them, it's not out of friendship. It's out of fear and threats. How did Juliet Holness get her seat is what the nation should ask. And that's the problem. Juliet Holness should have never been in our parliament. And even if she get there, she should have remained on the back benches forever. That is the problem. When uno jankro, uno fly down from cheat up because dead meat the pan grown, I go realize that Andrew Holness has created the problem for his so-called wife. We don't know, we have to say so-called. We know daddy house at night time. We don't know which room, who sleep in. We don't know who talk when they come home, but we know say gun draw per Andrew before. We know that. No matter about the bomb check, you hear the Prime Minister talk about gun, G-U-N, gun, pie. Yeah, Japan the Prime Minister. Frying pot just a seal, so cup and salsa, plate just a seal like you don't think they're Harry Potter's broomstick.
Part of the objection. But let me tell you something. Never before has anybody been as disrespectful. And I could go on and on. And nobody, no other member that is old has behaved the way you have behaved. I say to you, no other member of the opposition, and you should not speak to me across the aisle. I'm addressing the parliament. And
Idiot, national fool, you are speaking to her across the aisle as well. You are attacking her from across the aisle, you national idiot.
I am saying to you, I am not inciting anybody. I don't care if you don't like it, because I don't like the attack.
Then Juliet Holness should go home. It is quite plain and simple. You can't take the heat, come out of the kitchen. We are cooking. We are cooking. Puss. We are cooking. If the kitchen too hot, come out. Juliet Holness can excuse herself from the problem. She may have to take on the unnecessary problem upon herself. If she chooses voluntarily to take on the problem upon her head, they want to come out and claim about, because we ain't gonna bow to the pressure. We ain't gonna bow to the demands of Juliet Holness. So what not complain about? Ask the woman to go home and clean up her house and cook her husband dinner and prepare for massage her husband's shoulder and rub her husband's foot when he come home from work tired, or when he come home from visit Rhoda, Marlene, or Audrey, or Dana. Any one of them he chose to be coming home from, except for Juliet Holness.
I do not like the attack. It is obvious. Remember, I do not like, and I do not think it is right. And I say it with absolutely no malice. I say it this afternoon because I heard your own member speak about gender.
Your face alone show malice, woman. Your such a cat face alone show malice. The fact that you can come attack Nikita Burchell and not observing Juliet Holness' relentless attack on Nikita Burchell from the Yamhead argument. But then again, when I live in a cloud cuckoo land, so what do I expect? Stay in the cloud, fool. Idiot, stay up in the cloud.
And let me tell you, there are so many females that have joined this parliament that are excellent, oppose, and do not behave that way. It is a new trend, for God's sake. Let us stop it. And while we review the standing orders, just let us remember that if you review it 1,000,000 times over, the Speaker's views and ruling must always be respected. And I really am...
Member from St. James South. Member from St. James South. Member from St. James South. You had your mic on earlier. Do you want to contribute? Next is the member from St. Andrew West. St. Andrew West.
I don't know if you remember Juliet Holness, a song Kim Lawrence Brown sung in the 2024 nomination in February 2024. After she was nominated, she came down the stairs singing, "Them I got tired to see me face." It is the same thing with yourself and Miss Burchell. Y'all got tired to see her face. So you say, if you don't want to see Nikita Burchell face, go on the back bench. Go on the back bench where you don't have to see Nikita Burchell when you're on the back bench. Idiots. Useful fools. You members of the Jamaica Labour Party, you're just a useful fool for the Holness clan. The whole of a bow and bend over. That's why none of you can stand up. Case Starmer cabinet and Case Starmer backbencher just pull him down the other day. Just pull him down. And you bootlicking, butt scratching, pocket picking Labourites have to bow to the demands of the most crooked regime, the dictatorial Holnesses that has taken over our country for themselves. But I hope Jamaica keep up the pressure, because yesterday demonstration is not enough. It is not enough. Disgraceful.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
By Andrew Holness' wife is the most disgraceful thing happening in our country. And then they want to come out, they have the nerve to come
Madam
out
Speaker,
gaslighting us that they are not the problem.
Madam Speaker, I'm compelled to join the conversation, the debate on this motion this afternoon, because as one of the members that have currently one of the longest serving member in this House, I've been through many different speakers, many styles, many approaches to the orderly administration of the House. My first observation is this, that on the occasion of the review, there is an opportunity for a reset. There is an opportunity for a reset. A reset in how members deal with each other, how the Speaker relates to members and members relate to the Speaker, and for a number of other issues to be addressed. First of all, Madam Speaker, I believe I've also had the opportunity to observe other speakership and other parliaments operate, not least the parliament to which we have patterned ourselves off certainly from which the roots from which we have come. And one of the things that is very clear is that apart from the formal rules, of the House, the standing order being central, there are courtesies, there are conventions, and there are guardrails that are in place to ensure that the House operates in a very measured and balanced way. We have lost, it seems to me, and my observation is that these courtesies and these conventions and guardrails are all wearing thin if they have not already disappeared. And therefore, what it leaves us is just the bare bones of the standing orders, which themselves are from time to time subject to interpretation. And as the speaker before me said, the former speaker, and who spoke before me, said that there are times as speakers, there are times when
Globalist, when I hit the like button, I don't want me to start pan uno. You want me to turn off for the labor right them and start pan uno? Or not go hit the like button? Which one? Talk fast, come in your mind, go either way. Me have left hand and me have right hand. So talk fast, I beg.
you don't always get the interpretation correct. Likewise, members who have read the standing orders, understand them, may at times not get it correct either. But, Madam Speaker, the animus, I must observe as well that the animus that I see, the personal animus of one member to another, and that includes ministers making threats, veiled and otherwise, to members of the House. These, well, you don't brook stick in the ears. But let me say this. These things have a cumulative effect, and they're corrosive of the rules that are critical if we're going to have a measured debate and balance in this House. And I start by saying the review presents an opportunity for reset, and I hope we take advantage of this opportunity, because we are going down a road that is not a good road. It is not a good road. And the reasons why are many, and they're complex. Some of them are obvious, others are not so obvious. But we must seize the opportunity, because my observation, I must tell you, I went after Parliament last week. I stopped at a place to pick up something. And a gentleman, and I call him a gentleman because it was not obvious to me that he was being partisan in his comment. And he said to me, he said, look, the House is deteriorating, what's going on? So the public is watching. There's a public watching. Some are cheering, some are growling, some are very upset about what is happening. But we have to, as members, we have to be mindful that there is a public that is growing dissatisfaction for one reason or the other. So there's a need to pull back. There's a need for a reset. And I'm hoping that that debate and those members on the committee have a responsibility to make sure that it is the animus that is present in this House and that I see at every sitting almost, that we take that into account and we take the responsibility to have a reset and a rebalancing of the thing. And in the rebalancing, I make this point again. Some of the guardrails that have been there from the Parliament for which we emulate ourselves, the British Parliament in particular, the other Parliament, Australian Parliament, New Zealand Parliament, are all parliaments that have stood the test of time. And if we are going to stand the test of time, we're going to have to pay due regard to how these houses operate and what are the safeguards that are in place. So I really hope that this committee takes its responsibility very seriously, that some of the comments that I hear make that are very prejudicial, I hope that there's a reflection, that we have a reflection. And when we get to do the work, we take it very seriously to say that we have an opportunity for a reset and we should take advantage of it.
I saw Member Dawes, member from
Right. Our one does.
St. Catherine Southeast.
Our one and only does is going to address the potato thief now.
Thanks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I take note of the debates and of all that was said. The one thing I agree with the member from Trelawney South is that an overhaul of the standing committee, of the standing orders, will not solve the problems that we face in the House, where meaningful debate is overshadowed by the conflict that the gossip columnists love so much. However, I depart from her thinking in describing the new breed of politicians in almost a derogatory way. I consider myself a new breed of politician, but I tend to think of a different mindset in thinking why I consider myself a new breed. Not that we tend to be disruptive. What the House and the Speaker and Jamaicans looking on should understand is that we are all students of Thoreau, and where one does not have power and those in control of the power do not offer justice, then the only alternative is civil disobedience.
One does. The alternative to Juliet is civil disobedience. The alternative to arbitrary power exerted by Juliet Holness, the wife of the Prime Minister, is civil disobedience. If Juliet Holness chooses to follow a set of rules that assist her behavior and not what is beneficial to the nation's business, then, of course, civil disobedience ought to be the next thing. And it is the same thing that the Jamaican people ought to deploy against the most crooked regime we've ever engaged, civil disobedience. When we're out in our thousands, they cannot control us. They can control us in our dozens. But when we are out in our thousands, then they're not enough to control we. They barely have care to get around the country, you hear?
And I state this clearly. History has shown it throughout every independence movement. In the Westminster tradition of government, the government or ruling party extends courtesies to the opposition, not as charity, but as insurance. To understand that one day the majority will become the minority. Unfortunately, the government members of this House give the impression that they will be in government forever. And too many on that side of the House behave that way. But let me explain to you today and just end by saying, in the next general election, there is a possibility that the lucky among you will be sitting here and the unlucky will be sitting outside of the House.
One Dr. Daz.
Thank you very much, member from St. Catherine Southeast.
Now, this is where I'm asking the question, is Isaac Buchanan watered down, or has Isaac Buchanan becomes a pacifist, or is it that Isaac Buchanan is a calm and measured one in our parliament? Let's listen to Isaac Buchanan.
The member from Portland Eastern. Yes, you are next, and then House Leader will close. And when I say, and then House Leader will close, and finally House Leader will close, I do not want to be misrepresented either here or on social media. The word final, as Hansard indicated when I last spoke, and I said the final question came from, and then Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister would speak. Hansard verified, I said final. And final means last. Go ahead now, my dear friend from Portland Eastern.
My dear friend from Portland Eastern, she says. My dear friend from Portland, oh, it's not Delano Civ right again? No, sir. Julieta Flant and Andrew Orr. Garden Stick and Bucket Well. Garden Hoe as a husband, Bucket Well as a... Me don't know, me just to mix up. Me just to mix up this morning. Me don't know why. What me drink make me so mix up this morning?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I too am compelled to make a contribution in relation to the standing orders. There has been many things said by members who have participated, but I just wish to say that there are young people who are watching. There are young people who will find their place and a sense of identity from this very room. There are young members in this parliament that have brought a new dynamic to the parliament in a positive light. I will only say...
I thought I will say like her and have respect for her. Two of them gather up against me. I don't know where it's gonna lead anyway. But maybe just like how she attacked Nikita Burchell, maybe the Prime Minister soon start attack ISAT. You might never know.
Only say to my colleagues on both sides that, you know, when it comes to mentorship, when it comes to doing the right thing, when it comes to a sense of integrity, which is doing the right thing when nobody is watching, the political pageantry is preventing us from advancing the business of Jamaica. Yes, in relation to race, culture, gender, all of these things are significant because we are reflections of out of many one. I have raised in private that there is serious dislike for how women are treated in this parliament, including from the elder to the younger. If we bring race into it, if we bring politics, all of this is something that is detracting from the best contributions that can come from each and every one of us. The standing orders, nonetheless, is something, even as it is being amended, revamped, reviewed with a view to improve the parliament. I'm inviting all members to take time to actually look what is inside the standing orders. This is an indictment on the entire parliament to which I am a part of. It makes us, when young people stop me and say, MP, what is going on? Why are you trying to tell us that we are to respect ourselves when there's no respect? And it's individually and it is collectively.
I thought, given the context of all of what you've sit down and what happened in the parliament this evening, at this point, the way how you sound boring, may I part me hair and grease my scalp. It's a pity me never have few setters or few rollers to roll me ear as well. I sat like literally I would do that if I have them. Lucky me not have no setters today.
I am only urging members, because this is not to single out any one member or to differentiate from the speaker. We all got a mandate to be here. The respect that is to come from all of us.
is one where we appreciate that as we make our contributions, sometimes if we listen, we're saying the same things. Sometimes if we take a minute to look what is inside the standing orders, maybe we wouldn't be so quick to oppose. Maybe we wouldn't be so quick to think that we have to participate and say something. And it can be most embarrassing when at the end of it, there is something that is called internal locus of control and external locus of control. We are individuals, and I can say this. I would never disrespect anybody in this house to say nobody have sense. I don't believe that. And because we have contributions to make in our own expertise, maybe if we sometimes wait until it reaches what we know. Damien is not here, but when math is on the floor, I sit. That type of exchange advances the country. There is a new dynamic where I think that emotions is ruling this parliament. And collectively, until it changes, we are the king's parliament. Collectively, both sides, opposition, government. And I will only say that the disrespect, whether it's on mic, off mic, it's heard in spaces, and it is most embarrassing. If we do a reset following the review of the standing orders, the hope is that the country's business can be done, and a lot of the time that is wasted, much ado about nothing, is something that maybe I will hear, Madam Speaker, can we suspend idleness and get on with the government's business? And that is my humble contribution. Thank you.
Well, that was enough time to breathe my hair.
Madam Speaker, I thank the members for...
Fifi, nobody wants to hear you. Nobody wants to hear Big Titty Fiona right now. But on the flip side, could it be that Isaac Buchanan is the calm one, even though within his calm bourgeoisie explanation, it give me time for Al Mescal? Isaac, at least me find time for Al Mescal, Isaac Buchanan, while you were speaking. So, and my party never too bad because me do something useful with me hand. You know, me do something useful with me hand at this point. But me don't know if it is that you're a pacifist, if you've been watered down, or if you are the sensible one. Quite possibly. Hold on. Not this.
So, you think you know how to use me, but I can do more. Get advanced in 6 industry tools to become a data analyst by August. Start today with 15 minutes of daily practice.
We just watch a little while.
You want the debate?
Oh. Yeah.
Bills brought by the Senate.
Yeah. Here was the first poker. That happened in Parliament yesterday.
Both of the House leaders have a discussion. Bills brought by the Senate are moving on the agenda. Clark.
Here was where Philip Paulwell, you know, Sheeda, wants to ask the question as to why the Integrity Commission annual report that was sent to Parliament on Monday, why among the other announcement, the Integrity Commission annual report was not being tabled. And Juliet Holness refuses to hear him. So that caused a civil disobedience to ensue. Let's watch into this.
It's a message from Madam Speaker, as my microphone is on, there is a matter on...
have anything on announcement?
Clerk, bills brought by the Senate. Bills brought from the Senate.
To the Honorable House of Representatives, I have the honor to advise
So the People's National Party here is demonstrating by, as Nestor Morgan referred to it, as a chorus of death stamping. We must be heard. We must be heard. Hold on, Scarlett Esquire not come back from foreign yet. Scarlett need our parliament today. So what if you stand, Juliet? What do you think it's going to do to it?
Members, the announcements on the agenda is for announcements to be made on the House. If the member has an intervention to make, the appropriate place is when we reach the public business. There is no...
Fifi, hold on. Big Titty Fiona. The issue he is raising, the issue on which Philip Paulwell sought clarity, is on the issue of announcement. Why should he wait until he reaches the personal public business? He sought seeking clarity and announcement in relation to the Integrity Commission annual report that was not announced on the tabling when the other things are at table. So why if you wait and go down the road, why don't you forget about it? Titty big like?
No, there is.
I hate when she repeats herself.
Anytime a member gets up to speak outside of public business, it is at the Speaker's discretion. Now, if you agree it is at the Speaker's discretion, and the Speaker says no, which she has said, she has no. There is absolutely no. The Speaker does not have to turn on the mic. The Speaker has exercised her discretion by saying, members, let's go, members.
Lying teeth.
Okay, let me say it again. When a member rises outside of public business, the authority to speak is at the discretion of the Speaker. The member has risen. The Speaker has indicated that the member has risen.
Hey, Rhoda,
the leader of opposition business has risen.
Hey, Rhoda, mind your hand before we start on you this morning. Mind how you do your hand over there. So, you see, we don't start on you yet. Insignificant, Rhoda.
The Speaker has indicated that she will not hear him at this time. That is the ruling of the Speaker, and we continue. That is how the House is organized.
Bear with.
If it doesn't work for you, we promise 10 times your money back. This product works in just 1 second to fit perfectly and is suitable for everyone. Simply soak it in hot water to activate the elastic material and have your new dentures.
We promise to refund.
We need to pop out this mag system and dash out our parliament.
I am week by week going to hold us tighter and tighter to following the rules of the House that we have established. Leader of opposition business, I had actually asked you to come forward. I actually asked you to have a conversation with the leader of government business. I asked you to have a discussion with the leader of government business. That's my final ruling. And I have moved on the agenda to bills brought from the Senate. The leader of opposition business, you may have a discussion with the House leader and revert.
A patty shop.
My ruling is final.
You have to line up in a patty shop. They reach up to the cashier. You have to line up in a patty shop before you reach up to the cashier. Patty shop run better than you. So. And then Juliet Holness and her cronies no one accept that is their fault. It is their fault. And them create the problem in our parliament. And them facilitate the problem in our parliament. Why them not realize that? Why every time an integrity commission report to be tabled, Juliet Holness create a problem? It was the same problem when from 2023 December and early January, early January 2024, those two reports that was tabled that show how Nigel Clark use with money per empty building to facilitate Lady Dunn. Lady Dunn on her empty building them. And she held on to the report. Held on to the report until after the local government election. And when they were forced to table the report, them turn over all of the problem for Valerie Curtis. And she sent back the unopened report to the Integrity Commission. Months after, the Integrity Commission immediately sent it back to them. And when she was forced to table it, even though she hung on to the lie that she took advice from the Attorney General, and the Attorney General advice supported her stance. When she was forced to table the report and forced to make the Attorney General advice public, the Attorney General advice did not support her. the Attorney General's advice
Deputy House
supported
Leader,
the long-standing norm
Leader of
of
Opposition Business,
tabling
please
these
take your seat,
reports
sir.
as soon as practically
Please
possible,
take your seat, sir. Leader of Opposition Business.
which could be within 24 hours of
Leader
being
of
tabled
Opposition
in Parliament,
Business.
have been sent over to Parliament.
Leader of Opposition
It's a
Business.
mess.
And no, it doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Leader of Opposition Business. Announcements on the agenda is where we are.
And he wants clarity and announcement. That's what he wants, clarity and announcement. Dear idiot, he's seeking clarity on announcement. Why should he wait until we reach the public business? Why you don't want to have the conversation about the IC report, Juliet Holness? Juliet Holness, even though Wheatley is still there, we can't wait to see your investigative report drop. Because if you never help your husband with him accounting, I doubt you that you are able to help yourself with fear dodgy accounting. Juliet Holness. With your dodgy accounting that you would have submitted to the IC, with your wealth, just like how Andrew is being exposed of hiding wealth in his son name, in his sister name, in his mama name, in his papa name, one of the part, of course, in a constituent's name, you're going to be exposed as well in Juliet Holness. Juliet Holness, are you aware that you will be going down with your husband?
I just created a $47 ebook in 3 minutes flat using AI. Time me while I do it again. Already a designer.
If you know, are you fully aware that when your husband is going down, you will be going down with him?
I'm going to ask the Leader of Opposition Business to resume his seat.
Don't sit down. Don't sit down, Lady Patterson. Don't sit down. Don't like no hold on no crook. Hold on to work against the people of Jamaica. Rather than a labor right or PNP. And the worst part of it all with their cuss. All with their cuss. The whole of them go hug up and go lunchroom, go have lunch. And go bar, go have drink when they done. And we they are raised with blood pressure. Over 2 sets of the same normal jankro. The left foot jankro and the right foot jankro, which is Labour Right and PNP in our country. Me not depend on our side. Me not depend on our side. Oh, so PNP don't bother go feel comfortable. Say, oh, Wayne is a PNP. No, me not PNP. He's a Jamaican. This is the problem with Jamaica. Too much Labour Right and too much PNP in our country. And not much of us are Jamaican. Or even the 60% of us that does not engage with Labour Right and PNP, them not even going like them are Jamaican anyway. Because if them are the Jamaican, they would come out and vote for the minority at 20% stop elect a crooked government in our country. At the minority elect leadership for a year time. And then we sit down and talk, sweet Jamaica, my Jamaica, one Jamaica, and all the bullshit that we can conjure up, but not my Jamaica, not standing up for Jamaica. Is the 21% of people keep dictating to the rest of 79% of we. Oh, no, so I can do maths now. The 21%. Both the 60% when I vote a year time and the 40%, the 40% was split between the two crooked bunch. We sit down like big old fools and make the minority elect with future. Huh? And then another one with the cost Labour Right and PNP and not cost only the 60% disengage and disenfranchise set a jankro. What you want to have a say, but you don't want to participate? Huh? You move here. And then you want to criticize Labour Right and PNP. Criticize yourself. You the docile 60% of disenfranchised people when you participate. Criticize yourself. The 60% of Jamaicans who of eligible Jamaicans who doesn't participate in the fuckery is a bigger problem than the 40% will sell themselves and prostitute themselves and give themselves a little or nothing. The whole of we are a bunch of mess if you look at the problem holistically. If you look at the problem holistically, we are a bunch of mess. Because the 60% is as that does not engage is as bad as the 60% will choose the two set of fuckery. And then the older we have to log out with the cross of what the minority does. You understand that make no sense? Talk truth. If it that makes sense.
So for the benefit of the House and the public, I will cite Standing Order 13.3 as it relates to the presentation of papers, which is what is on the announcement. 13.3 says, all papers shall be ordered to lie upon the table without question put, and any motion for the printing thereof shall be determined without amendment or debate. There is no discussion to be had. Now, I asked the
Mommy Water had
opposition business to sit several times. I'm happy you have finally taken your seat. Okay, I asked you to take your seat, leader of opposition business, and I have read the standing orders. You are not allowed to have any discussion at this time under announcement or comment or debate or anything at all said. I will repeat. Leader of opposition business, the leader of the House has also indicated to you that if you have any commentaries, it would be done under public business. No, leader of opposition business, I'm asking for the final time that you take your seat.
Lady Patterson, sit down. Lady Patterson, sit down. So what was that all about, lady? Lady, what was that all about?
Mark, bills brought by the Senate.
To the Honorable House of Representatives, I have the honor to advise the Honorable House of Representatives that on the 26th day of June 2026, an act
Member
to
Russell,
amend the Civil Aviation
I am
Act.
actually, could you please pause, Clark? So let me just read for all the members. Let me now read for you again, Standing Order 43. And as a matter of fact, you can take your books. So, Standing Order 43.4, if any of the members continue to disturb the proceedings of the House, I will be naming you. Clark, continue. And that means banging the decks.
To the Honorable House of Representatives.
Juliet Holness, me know say my pronunciation can be off key a lot of the time, but you have some horrible pronunciation, you know. God know me don't know how they say you go to school, but pronunciation wasn't your strong point in education.
I have the honor to advise the Honorable House of Representatives that on the 26th day of June 2026, an act to amend the Civil Aviation Act was passed in the Honorable Senate without amendment. Honorable Thomas Tavares Finson, OJ, CD, KC, JP, President of the Senate. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Petitions, papers, reports from committees. Frank Witter, Minister of State. Reports from committees.
After Frank Witter making nonsense, Julian is going to add, and we're not going to hear from Julian how this government a walk and raid institution in our country. And what it is for you who pay your car insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance, and all the insurances that you buy from the insurers. Razor price coming your way. Razor price is coming your way.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay on the table of the House a copy of the report of the Regulations Committee of the House of Representatives on its deliberations on the insurance amendment of 20th Schedule, number 2, Regulation 2026.
Hold on there. Me no see Esmeralda. You no see Esmeralda? Me no see Esmeralda are here in a parliament none at all. I wonder if Esmeralda are right.
Notices of motions given orally.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move for the following motions. Be it resolved that the report of the Regulations Committee of the House of Representatives and its deliberations on the Insurance Amendment 20th Schedule, number 2, Regulation 2026, which was laid on the table of the House of Representatives on the 30th day of June, 2026, be adopted. Madam Speaker, I also further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion notice of which I gave earlier.
Minister Speaker, could you turn your mic off?
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move to introduce and have read a first time a bill shortly entitled the Jury Amendment Number 2 Act 2026. I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take first reading of the bill.
House Leader.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice at the next meeting of
could
the
you turn
House.
your mic off, please?
I will move the following motion. Be it resolved that a comprehensive review of the standing orders of the House of Representatives be undertaken. And be it resolved that the Standing Orders Committee of the House of Representatives conduct such review and report its findings to this honorable House. And be it further resolved that in conducting the review, the Standing Orders Committee adopt the work of the Standing Orders Committee of the previous House of Representatives in respect of a similar resolution and takes its findings into account in formulating its recommendations to this honorable House. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take this notice.
Madam Speaker, I beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move the following motion. Whereas chattel slavery constituted one of the greatest crimes against humanity, involving the systematic capture, trafficking, enslavement, exploitation, dehumanization, and dispossession of millions of African men, women, and children, and whereas the wealth generated through slavery contributed significantly to the economic development and industrialization of Britain and other European powers, while simultaneously underdeveloping Africa and Caribbean societies and establishing patterns of inequality, exclusion, and dependency that continue to affect formerly enslaved people and nations. And whereas the abolition of slavery did not result in justice for the formerly enslaved, and instead compensation was paid to slave owners, while those who had endured enslavement received neither restitution nor meaningful support for their social and economic advancement. And whereas the legacies of slavery remain evident in contemporary disparities relating to land ownership, wealth accumulation, educational opportunity, infrastructure, access to services, cultural development, and economic participation throughout the Caribbean region and within Jamaica. And whereas the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, through its Reparations Commission, has developed a 10-point reparations plan which provides a comprehensive framework for addressing the enduring consequences of slavery, genocide, colonialism, and racial injustice. And whereas in 2026, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution on the permanent remembrance of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade and the pursuit of reparatory justice, receiving the support of 123 member states, thereby demonstrating growing international recognition of the legitimacy of reparatory justice claims. And whereas the pursuit of reparatory justice is consistent with the principles of human rights, international law, restorative justice, sustainable and reparatory development, and the dignity of all people. Be it resolved that this Honorable House affirms the institution of chattel slavery and its associated systems of colonial exploitation inflicted profound and lasting harm on the people of Jamaica, and that these harms continue to manifest across generations.
New Kenko Espresso Concentrate. Mix it up.
This is the most anticipated smart security camera of the year. No internet connection needed, no wiring or complicated installation, and best of all, it's completely free to use for
formally endorse the CARICOM 10-point reparations plan as the principal regional framework guiding Jamaica's pursuit of reparatory justice. 3, calls on the government of the United Kingdom to enter into meaningful and good faith negotiations with Caribbean member states, including Jamaica, towards the achievement of full and comprehensive reparations for the crimes and enduring consequences of slavery and colonial exploitation. 4, affirm that reparatory development shall serve as a principal mechanism through which reparatory justice may be pursued and achieved, recognizing that sustainable redress requires transformative investments that address historical and contemporary inequities. 5, calls on the government of Jamaica to develop and implement a national reparatory development strategy aligned with the CARICOM 10-point reparations plan and focused on addressing structural inequalities linked to slavery and colonialism. 6, calls on the government of Jamaica to consistently place the issue of reparatory justice on the agenda of the CARICOM, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, Commonwealth institutions, and all appropriate international fora. 7, calls on the government of Jamaica to establish a structured program of engagement with institutions that benefited directly or indirectly from slavery and colonial exploitation, to seek their acknowledgement, partnership, and participation in initiatives that advance reparatory justice and development. Institutions will include, but not limited to, churches and religious institutions, universities and educational institutions, financial institutions, commercial enterprises and corporate entities, philanthropic foundations, cultural institutions, and any other entities which credible evidence demonstrate historically benefit from slavery and colonial system. Be it further resolved that the government of Jamaica will support the strengthening of Jamaica's institutional arrangements for reparations advocacy, research, public education, and international engagement. This should include the establishment of an appropriately staffed and resourced unit in the responsible ministry to coordinate, monitor, and support implementation of agreed actions and agreements in furtherance of reparatory justice and development. Be it further resolved that this Honorable House establishes a joint select committee to receive submissions from members of the public, civil society group, faith-based organizations, academic institutions, private sector entities, and other stakeholders. 2, receive and examine historical, legal, economic, social, and developmental evidence relating to slavery, colonialism, and their enduring impacts. Consider the implications of the CARICOM 10-point reparation plan and relevant international developments concerning reparatory justice. 4, assess the role of governments, churches, universities, financial institutions, commercial enterprises, and other institutions that benefited directly or indirectly from slavery and colonialism. And 5, report its findings and recommendations to this Honorable House within 9 months of its establishment. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be transmitted to the Government of the United Kingdom, the CARICOM Secretariat, the CARICOM Reparations Commission, the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Secretary General of the United Nations, the Secretary General of the African Union, and other relevant international and regional institutions. And be it further resolved that the responsible minister will table in Parliament at intervals.
In advance, we have a lot to pack in this morning. The sun in and out today, but me can't spend the time today because heat wave will come back next week when we're going to have to run out of the house quick. So we're going to take the crucifixion today.
Not exceeding 12 months, a report detailing progress in international reparations advocacy, discussions undertaken with the Government of the United Kingdom, other governments and institutions regarding reparations, developments within CARICOM, developments within CARICOM reparations initiatives, progress towards implementation of national reparatory development programs, and recommendations for further action.
When Julian done, then we will go to Dana Morris Dixon. We end the show after that. Can't have to hear where they not come out and blame social media.
Questions and answers to questions.
They not blame social
Motions
media.
that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notice. Motions relating to the sitting of the House. Motions for leave to introduce bills. Presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained.
Madam Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the first reading of a bill shortly entitled the Jury Amendment No. 2 Act 2026.
You know, I could fast forward Delroy Chuck, because we're really not interested in the docility right now.
Now.
We want to get to Julian Robbins.
I put the question.
You might say.
Hold on.
So if you have nothing further to add
Julian
in respect of the
now.
debate, then you're moving to allowing the member from St. Andrews Southeast.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The motion being moved by the member from Southeast St. Elizabeth, which comes from the Regulations Committee, has far-reaching implications for the insurance sector in our country. Coming out of the meeting held a couple weeks ago, the government made a decision to withdraw $500 million from the Financial Services Commission. That has imperiled.
Hey, wanna listen the numbers carefully where Julian Robbins is quoting, because it is consequential for your pocket, whether it be your car insurance, your home insurance, your life insurance, whatever assurance una buy. Whatever assurance una buy.
The financial position of the FSC. Further, the FSC has made a decision to increase the fees that are charged to insurance companies. So I want to give one example. An insurance company that was paying a flat rate, these are real numbers, of $500,000 before, will now pay, the same insurance company, will now pay over $100 million based on the change in the fee structure by the FSC.
Now you might say, why does it matter? It matters because these costs are going to be passed on to holders of insurance policies. So if you have life insurance, if you have home insurance, if you have car insurance, you are going to be faced with significant increases as a result of the decision made to withdraw the 500 million from the FSC, and then for the FSC to change the way it charges these companies, because the FSC has to maintain its financial viability. And because the government took the 500 million, it now has to increase its fees. Jamaica already has a problem with severe underinsurance. If you look at the numbers coming out of Hurricane Melissa, I believe it's only of the affected households, about 5% of them had insurance. We want to encourage people to insure their homes and properties. This decision is going to push insurance premiums way out of the reach of most Jamaicans. It's a bad decision. It is a poor decision. It was not made with sufficient consultation with members of the industry. And all the players are going to do is simply to pass the cost on to people who are already burdened with increased gas price, increased food price, who have not recovered from Melissa. I am urging the government to rethink this, to consult with the players in the industry. The Insurance Agency of Jamaica has come out and asked for consultations. Withdraw it. You want more people to take out insurance, not less. And the government cannot continue to raid public institutions. We have 13.4 billion annually from the NHT. Heart Trust, 2 billion over the last 2 years. FSC, 500 million this year. You are raiding these agencies, imperiling their financial position, making it difficult for them to deliver on the mandate that they have. This one is one of the worst decisions. Rethink the decision, consult with the industry, find a way to ensure if you need to make increases, phase them in. But you can't have an insurance company, one of the largest, moving from paying an annual flat rate of 500,000 to paying over 100 million, and then you expect them to absorb that. They're not going to absorb it. They're going to pass the cost on. And then what will happen? People who are supposed to insure them car are not going to insure them car. People insure their houses, cannot fully insure their houses. We live in a hurricane. We live in a situation where you are going to have natural disasters, and people are not going to have sufficient coverage based on this decision. It is a bad decision, and I'm calling on the government to withdraw it and to have consultation.
You heard, my people, that everything this government is doing, it's going to put your expenses up. It is going to put things out of your reach. But let us stop with Parliament here for now, because Dana Morris Dixon said something which I think we ought to listen to as well, because, you know, they continue to gaslight us. We are the problem and not them. But I want to say to Miss Morris Dixon, I want to tell the first lie. I want to start the misinformation. I don't know why you don't grow beard, because your face look like something where beard can grow upon. Like, literally. Your face. Now, you know, so your hair is always a mess. Why would you want to put on that glass so we look upon your face, the hair, and the glass together? Imagine. Why would you want to do that? And everybody had chunk consecution, you know. Some of we all see butterfly fly and drop down. There are a lot of people, children, who are afraid of pigeons and all of those things. Only people afraid of puss. Why would you want to do that? Anyway, let's listen to what Miss Morris Dixon have to say about the Jamaica people. Because them always attack we, you know. Them never see the lie where them start with. Them never see feed them misinformation. But you see, as we talk, them want jump down with short. Lady, next time you decide how you are go jump out of the crocus bag. Next time decide how you are go jump out of the crocus bag, because this not look palatable. A lot of people afraid. And all our constitution chang. People see real human and think a dopey them a look pan. It's literally like that, if you ask me.
You today as information minister. And so often you see stories online and in various news sources that are not accurate. And it's very, very concerning to me and especially to our administration, because these stories really matter. What's on social media, what's written or printed elsewhere or shown elsewhere, they matter. They have implications. And so a story recently about TCNs being in Jamaica. There was also another one that was done about potential TCNs going to a particular location in St. Mary. The government has not even started to negotiate the housing arrangement for TCNs, and that is going to be done by the International Organization for Migration. And so we're not even there yet. And then to have a story like that really gaining legs and persons being threatened as a result of it is really, really damaging. And so for me, I believe that any government is very important that there are stories.
You know what the problem is? Chuno get clobbered, and Chuno couldn't get the bed and breakfast for use anymore. It hurt, you know. So the nation caught on off guard. It hurt, you know. Say, you don't have to go look otherwise. And that me couldn't come out after everybody, you know. It's not that we have done anything. It's not that we are saying anything that shouldn't be said. Me glad. You know me glad about the Morris Dixon? You see the argument about what's you call it? Upper St. Mary. You know how me glad say a mainstream media thought that? Me glad say the news that start by mainstream media. You see, if I did ever we out of social media land, horse and pato race. Horse and pato race, Dana Morris Dixon. I wanna start the life first. So may I beg you, make we finish it in peace. You hear me I tell you this morning, lady? Wanna start it, make we wanna can't start it and finish it. Because if we don't start it and finish it, the whole thing would be a mess. If we don't start, we have the right to finish.
You today as information minister. And so often you see stories online and in various news sources that are not accurate. And it's very, very concerning to me and especially to our administration, because these stories really matter. What's on social media, what's written or printed elsewhere or shown elsewhere, they matter. They have implications. And so a story recently about TCNs being in Jamaica. There was also another one that was done about potential TCNs going to a particular location in St. Mary. The government has not even started to negotiate.
Let me tell you, lady, deportee now go in a bigger house than Melissa victim. So if I hit bono, it will continue bono. Because we now go sit by idle and make deportee go in a big house and Melissa victim under tarpaulin. Not a bit of that. Nah,
The housing arrangement for TCNs, and that is going to be done by the International Organization or migration. And so we're not even there yet. And then to have a story like that really gaining legs and persons being threatened as a result of it is really, really damaging. And so for me, I believe that any government is very, very important that there are stories about what a government is doing, and there's really deep investigative journalism, but it's also important that we get the facts right as we put out our stories on social media. Whoever it is that is putting out stories, it has to be grounded in some amount of accuracy, or else we're going to cause lots of mayhem in our country and cause undue concern that can actually affect real people. And so it's a conversation we have to continue to have about how we have accurate information reaching the public. I know everybody's on social media, and sometimes there's some nice things that are said and shown, and it's sensational and you run with it. But it's important that we always check to ensure that we have the right facts. So I tell you again, the TCN program that was negotiated, it's only 25 persons every 2 weeks. That's what's been agreed to by the government, but it's not.
Well, explain to us every 2 weeks how often, because we're counting that as 50 a month. And if you times that by 52 divided by 2 would be 26 weeks. So 26 times 25 is how much globally. So not tell me that, because that wouldn't take a year. If every 2 weeks, how much 2 weeks for the year then, Maris Dixon? Because there's 26 2 weeks. There's 20. No, also? Yes, 52 weeks in a year. So we have 26 2 weeks. And also, we have 26 fortnight in a year. Lady, move now. Move you on your glass and your hair and face. I don't know how all children get come together.
Enforce, because the operational details around where they'll come from in terms of how we will treat with them once they're here. All of those details have not been signed, have been agreed on, and so we are not even there at accommodating any TCNs, and they are not in Jamaica. No TCNs are in our country. So I hope that clarifies some things, and let's work towards getting real accurate information out there and us really working in an environment where we have the facts.
The facts. We end with Emily Shields this morning. We have to keep jamming Emily Shields down, Dr. Chang, and Andrew Holness, Audrey Marks, and Dana Dixon throat. I'm going to leave when I figure about on a business.
Could go ahead and sign an MOU over 1 week or so before any information came to us, and have the effrontery to have us try to understand exactly what they signed is beyond me. Up to now, I don't understand it. Dr. Chang, you don't seem to understand it either, because nothing you say to me is clear on exactly what is to happen. And we shouldn't have to feel in the dark. On top of that, don't come and tell us that there's no coercion, because we know that there's no diplomacy in the corridors, in the halls of power anymore. We are fully aware. We are fully aware that what we're dealing with are not negotiations, but dictates. And we know that we don't have the power differentials are unequal. So what you probably need to do is speak with us in coded language, and we will better understand, instead of taking us for idiots, because we're not. And it doesn't help that other Caribbean territories have these so-called TCNs. You need to read the room. You need to learn from history. You need to know when to speak with us and get ahead of the news. So what is happening now, to my mind, is not acceptable in how the matter has been handled. And even though we don't understand, you're telling us that these individuals are not deportees, but are they free people in the United States? Yes. Are they buying a ticket to come here, or are they to be transported in the custody of representatives to get here? And if they are not, we are not into the euphemism. You need to talk straight. And if you cannot talk straight, get somebody who can talk straight and level with us. This administration, you need to watch yourself. There's a time when the thing goes to water bottom and it's going to drop out. There cannot be so many mistakes in 1 week. Or 1 week behind the next. When David Cameron came here and promised a prison, it was rejected forcefully in the Parliament of Jamaica by the then opposition leader Andrew Holness, and I agreed with it. Chiefly because of the historical relic, because of our relationship with the UK, and the issues concerning slavery, which is a bit different from the United States. But exactly because of that, and exactly because of the secret MOU, you come to us early and explain and distinguish. You don't hold a speech until some biennial conference.
Not at all, out of order.
Don't make, my granny would have said, don't make people spit on the ground and it dry up before Dr. Wheatley resign later. And give us full explanation about this so-called MOU. Because up to now, I don't get it.
Neither me.
And I read things in light. I don't read in the dark.
Yes. Me I go make una run go on ya now. Me keep on up along this morning, 2.5 hours plus. When you used to see me this long or hear me this long, but there was quite a lot to go around this morning, given the ruckus what take place in our parliament yesterday, and how Labour right at try to gaslight we, all when they know that we're not fool like them. So thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as always. And once again, a big amazing thank you to those who supported the program financially last night. It puts us on the way to solve the problem we're having. So thank you. Thank you. And please do join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. We'll be back on TCN and something again. But tomorrow morning, there won't be a program tomorrow morning, but definitely Thursday evening we'll be coming back. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And if you cannot be good, be very careful. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food, pan we plate. People are suffer while Andrew live great. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through and left the people bare. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. Their GLP friends them build high-rise, roads still full of hope. House pocket to a fill, while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get bed. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest actor in our politics we ever see. Boldness, time to go. Time to go. The people, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Boldness, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done really show. Boldness, time to go. Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born you, we grow you, we bleed for this land. But Andrew at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report land and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. What's crack up parish council, bro? Country suffocating done and it just more. And when we raise the voice, you call we political, but the truth truth is the truth and the truth is biblical. Holiness, time to go. Time to go. The people. Yes and no. We say no. 10 years and we can't take no more. You know hear us. We are knock on the door. Holiness, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negri, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Holiness, our time to go. We know no hype, we know no speech. We want action, no, not the lies you preach. Hurricane victims still under tarpaulin. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people COVID empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fists, not with fire, but with voice them rising higher and higher. From every parish, every yard, every gate, Jamaica speaking, and I'm not too late. Time to go. The people. We say no. 10 years and we can't take no more. You know hear us. We are not by the door. Time to go. From Kingston to Negri, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Oh yes, our time to go. This one is for every Jamaican. We can't afford feet. We are sleep on cardboard. We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget. The people don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live.
Thank you very much and goodbye.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.